Okay, in example 5.4, we're going to compute 3 more indefinite integrals. So the first one says find the integral of e to the x. And the thing you have to ask yourself is, what's the derivative of e to the x? And you'll say, well, that's e to the x. Well, how do you undo the derivative? If the derivative is e to the x, then the integral is also e to the x. But then we're supposed to add the constant of integration. And again, you can check that if I take the derivative of e to the x plus the constant, that will be e to the x, and then derivative of the constant will be 0. Okay, so what we started with is what we end up with after we've integrated and then differentiated. And now the integral of 1 over x is equal to, and you're going to see that, I guess I could write that as x to the minus 1 dx. And if I followed the rule here, I would get x to the minus 1 plus 1 is 0 divided by 0, and that's undefined. And so this is really weird. This is the one time where the power rule doesn't work, adding 1 to the exponent and then dividing by the exponent. But if you think to yourself, well, what can I take the derivative of? What derivative of some function would give me 1 over x? And you should remember this from last week, that the derivative of the natural log of x is equal to 1 over x. And so the one time where this rule doesn't work, it's actually because we're taking the derivative of natural log of x. So let me go back and just delete all of this and say that because we know the derivative of natural log of x is 1 over x, we know that the answer here should be ln of x plus a constant. Okay? And now you just check that the natural log of x plus a constant gives you 1 over x. And the last thing to say here is that notice that I've put this x in absolute value, and that's only because we haven't put any restrictions on what x could be, but we can only take the natural log of a positive number. So that's just saying, okay, if you have a negative number, take the positive, because you can't take the natural log of a negative number. Okay? All right. Now, this last example, it's the integral of x to the minus 3 dx. And this you can use the regular power rule again. You just say, okay, x to the minus 3 plus 1 is negative 2 divided by negative 3 plus 1, and then you add the constant of integration. So let me clean that up. It's x to the minus 2 over negative 2 plus c. And again, you should check that the derivative of x to the minus 2 divided by negative 2 plus c, check that that is actually x to the minus 3rd. But it is, because you're going to do x to the, you're going to subtract, you're going to multiply by negative 2 x to the minus 3 divided by negative 2, which will give you x to the minus 3.